Prologue. My sister and I were both given the chance to bind a life reversal system. She chose the beauty system, while I chose the scholar system. In the end, she lost everything, her beauty, her wealth, even her dignity, because no man ever truly loved her. But I became the youngest fellow of the academy, shone in the field of physics, and was pursued by the heir of a powerful family. Blinded by jealousy, my sister drove a car straight into me, ending my life. When I opened my eyes again, we had both returned to the very day we were asked to choose our systems. This time, she rushed ahead of me and grabbed the scholar system. "Claire, let me be the genius of the academic world this time," she said with a triumphant smile. I looked at her, lips curving slowly. She didn't know. Every gift from fate comes with a price. Chapter 1. After Nina killed me with her car, I finally understood how much she regretted her original choice. At 16, we both received the chance to connect to a system. A mysterious man told us, "You only get one chance. Absolute beauty or unmatched intelligence. Choose carefully." In our past lives, Nina chose beauty, convinced it was the key to high society. But she soon discovered that beauty was never rare. She was treated as a disposable ornament by wealthy men, desired but never loved. When her beauty faded, she was discarded and left destitute. I, however, chose the so-called scholar system. I worked tirelessly and eventually became the youngest fellow of the academy. Even the powerful heir Ethan Fu, whom Nina could never win over, pursued me. Consumed by envy, Nina killed me. But then, we were both reborn, standing once more before the mysterious man. Before he even finished speaking, Nina shouted, "I choose the scholar system." The man half smiled at her. "But didn't you say you wanted beauty? The system is shaped by your truest desire. Do you really want to be a scholar?" I do. Intelligence matters more than beauty," she insisted. The man nodded and turned to me. "And you?" Nina panicked. Afraid I would take it back, she snatched the glowing orb from his hand. It fused into her body instantly. Overjoyed, she laughed. "This time, the glory will be mine. I'll be the genius, I'll have Ethan Fu's love, and I'll take everything you had." The man didn't stop her. He only handed me the other orb, the beauty system. "Every gift has its price," he said, smiling gently as he faded away. Nina sneered at me. "Sister, you enjoyed all the benefits last time, now it's my turn." I only curved my lips. She still didn't understand. The system gives tools, but results demand effort. Nina quickly began to enjoy the advantages of the scholar system. Her memory improved, her comprehension sharpened, and she breezed through lessons. Soon, classmates admired her genius and showered her with praise. Why did Nina suddenly become so smart? So envious, she never even studies that hard. Smug, she whispered behind her hand. "My sister Claire studies all the time, but she just doesn't have the brains for it." A classmate agreed. "Exactly. Same mother, but look, Nina's brilliant and Claire is so slow." "Slow?" I smiled faintly, glancing at my math paper. 124 out of 150. Not terrible at all. But Nina was clever with her words, planting an image of me as the jealous, hard-working, but talentless sister. People admire those who appear effortlessly gifted. That was Nina's advantage. Yet while she basked in their flattery, changes began to show in me too. The beauty system worked quietly. I grew taller, slimmer, my skin fairer, my features more striking. Soon, students began to whisper about my looks. "She's gorgeous, but looks don't matter. Nina's the real genius." "Yeah, Claire is just a pretty face." Nina preened under their praise, while I only watched in silence. She didn't know. The scholar system required more than natural intellect. True success still demanded endless hours of study and sacrifice. And the beauty system, it too had hidden costs. Nina secured her place as top student. Talented peers gathered around her, while she gloated over the admiration. But she soon noticed something strange. Despite my beauty drawing attention, I wasn't isolated like she had been in her past life. People still talked and laughed with me. Why? Because it was never beauty that made people hate her before, it was her arrogance. Meanwhile, Ethan Shu, the local school bully, began to pursue me. Handsome, wealthy, feared by teachers, he was the kind of boy who attracted girls like moths to flame, but I rejected him each time. "Claire, don't play hard to get," he snapped one day. "While I still like you, stop putting on airs." I lowered my head, biting my lip until my eyes brimmed with tears. "How could you say that to me?" Ethan panicked, scratching his head. I didn't mean it like that. Fine, fine. If you don't want to go, just forget it. I ran off in tears. Of course they were fake. Sometimes beauty is a weapon, but one that cuts both ways. Until I could truly protect myself, showing weakness was safer than defiance. Unlike Nina, I would never depend on a man's protection. Beauty fades when it's only admired, never respected. I wanted to be the eagle, not the caged bird. That afternoon I hid in the storage room, sitting on an old gym mat with my vocabulary book. While others thought I was crying, I was actually recording a study video. Online, I had already built a following of over 600,000 fans. They called me their good girl, enjoying my study routines. Among countless pretty influencers, my quiet diligence stood out. Even mothers online adored me, wishing I could be their daughter. The beauty system wasn't limited to male affection. It counted genuine fondness too, and those mothers' love fueled my progress. Meanwhile, Nina was struggling. Though her system gave her intelligence, it didn't replace effort. "Why am I still getting questions wrong?" she complained. "The system provides ability," the mechanical voice answered. "You must still study on your own." She hated sitting still, and though she regained first place eventually, her progress was shallow. At home, our parents compared us again. "Nina is so brilliant. Claire, why can't you learn from her?" I only smiled. "But Dad, I've improved a lot too. My teacher says I can get into a good university." My mother frowned. She never liked me, especially as I grew more beautiful. Suspicion shadowed her eyes. "Claire, don't you dare bring shame to this family." Nina smirked at me behind her back. "See, this time, I'm the one they truly love." I sighed. Our parents didn't love either of us. They only loved what brought them face and status. But that didn't matter. I no longer needed their approval. Chapter 2. Nina told our parents that Ethan Shu had been chasing me. From then on, my mother watched me like a hawk, terrified I would bring shame to the family. "Don't you dare disgrace us, Claire. A girl who flirts with boys will ruin her life." I ignored her harsh words. But one afternoon, Ethan cornered me at the school gate. His temper flared. "You think you're too good for me, huh? I'll show you what happens when someone looks down on me." He dragged me into the equipment room. I sat quietly, eyes filling with tears. "Are you gonna bully me too, just like Nina?" I whispered. Ethan froze, guilt flickering in his eyes. He scratched his head and muttered, "I didn't mean it like that." Before he could say more, the door opened. Nina appeared with Ethan Fu and several classmates, ready to catch me in disgrace. She had even called our parents to witness my downfall. But instead of a scandal, they saw Ethan's older sister, our teacher, Hannah Shu, tutoring us at a desk. Everyone stared in stunned silence. Nina's little scheme collapsed instantly. Our classmates began whispering, "Nina, why did you lie like that?" "Yeah, you made it sound like Claire was doing something shameful." Ethan Fu's expression darkened, clearly displeased with Nina. For the first time, the tide turned. After the failed trap, Hannah drove me home. "Claire, how did you know Nina would try to set you up?" she asked. I smiled faintly. "Because I know her. She can't stand the thought of me doing well." In truth, I had quietly arranged everything. I'd even tipped Hannah off so she would arrive in time. Nina wanted to ruin me, but she only ruined herself. Later that night, at home, Nina's eyes burned with fury. "Even if you escape this time, I'll still surpass you. I'll be the youngest fellow of the academy. I'll win in the end." I only tilted my head and asked softly, "Nina, am I beautiful?" She scoffed. "Beauty is useless. You couldn't even win over Ethan Shu. Just wait. When your charm fails, you'll lose everything." But her words rang hollow. My followers online adored me. My popularity was growing, and unlike Nina, I didn't need to rely on the system alone. At school, rumors began to spread. Nina's jealous of her sister's beauty. She even tried to frame her. "Better stay away from her, she might stab you in the back too." The same Ethan Shu who once chased me now openly mocked Nina. For the first time, she tasted isolation. Meanwhile, I thrived. Ethan Shu continued to follow me around, even skipping classes just to buy me drinks and snacks. He wasn't truly interested in studying or the future. He only liked games. When he admitted he wanted to be a professional player, he looked at me nervously, expecting scorn. Instead, I smiled. "That's wonderful. Everyone should have something they love. If you want to go pro, then go for it." His eyes lit up. No one had ever encouraged him like that before. From then on, he followed me even more loyally. And I I planted a seed in his heart, one that would grow exactly as I wanted. My online account grew rapidly. With over 1.3 million followers, I was now a well-known study influencer. I earned sponsorships, saved money, and built influence far beyond what Nina imagined. When she discovered it, she ran to our parents. "Mom, Dad, Claire's wasting time being an internet celebrity instead of studying," she tattled. Our mother slapped me in fury. "You shameless girl, delete your account immediately." I looked at her with tears in my eyes. "Why is everything I do wrong in your eyes? Is it because I'm not Nina?" The argument ended with me storming out. Minutes later, I was in Hannah Shu's car, calmly editing a new video. At school the next day, Nina cornered me in front of classmates. "Claire, you didn't go home last night, did you? I even saw you get out of a man's car this morning." Our parents rushed in, ready to disgrace me in public, but the man who drove me was none other than teacher Hannah Shu. She pushed up her glasses and said coldly, "Before spreading rumors, perhaps you should confirm the facts." The class burst into laughter. Nina's face turned pale. Her schemes were crumbling. Despite losing face, Nina clung to her one hope, Professor West, the world-renowned physicist. In our previous lives, he had chosen me as his student after I solved a problem he left at our school. That choice had shaped my future. This time, Nina believed he would pick her. She boasted to Ethan Fu, claiming she'd soon be the professor's disciple. But she didn't realize, Professor West wasn't even in the country. Instead, he was already in contact with Hannah, preparing a new project with her support. On the day she thought he would arrive, Nina waited anxiously. By nightfall, she broke down in tears. "Claire, what did you do? Why didn't Professor West come?" I tilted my head innocently. "What professor? I don't know what you're talking about." Her accusations only made her look foolish. Classmates comforted me instead. "Nina is losing her mind. Don't take her words to heart, Claire." Nina's desperation grew, while I quietly prepared my next move. Chapter 3, I hinted to Ethan Su about going professional in gaming. Meanwhile, Hannah Shu was steadily gaining control of her family business. I couldn't join the scientific project I once led in my past life. I had lost the system's help and the crucial knowledge. But money could still pave the way. With Hannah's support, I invested in projects I knew would succeed. Nina, on the other hand, clung to her exams. Her scores fluctuated, but she believed her scholar system would guarantee her future. At home, our parents compared us again. "Nina will surely be the top scorer in the college entrance exam. Claire, you should learn from her." I only smiled and stayed silent. My plans stretched far beyond what they could imagine. One morning, Nina stood in front of the class, her voice trembling with false concern. "Claire didn't come home last night. I saw her get out of a man's car this morning. Please don't ruin your future, sister." Our classmates exchanged glances. My mother arrived just in time to slap me in front of everyone. "Shameless girl. Are you trying to destroy this family's reputation?" Before the whispers could spread, Hannah Shu entered the classroom. "The person who drove Claire to school was me," she said firmly. "Perhaps your eyes were playing tricks on you this morning, Nina, but I don't look much like a man." The class burst out laughing. Nina's face burned with humiliation. Hannah's words carried weight, and once again, Nina's lies backfired. In the office, Hannah continued to defend me. "Claire is a hardworking student. Her videos are study notes, not shameful behavior. They've helped many people. Don't hold her back during such an important year." My parents could only nod along, cowed by her authority. I crossed my arms and declared stubbornly, "I won't go back home." Hannah sighed. "Then let her stay with me until exams are over. I'll keep an eye on her." My parents hesitated, but they had no better option. That night, I moved into Hannah's house. It was the beginning of true freedom. Meanwhile, Nina withdrew home to study, waiting desperately for Professor West's arrival. She had no idea he was never coming. Nina began drawing closer to Ethan Fu, the wealthy heir. She boasted that Professor West would soon make her his disciple, which caught Ethan's interest. But Nina misunderstood him. He wasn't charmed by beauty or intellect, only by profit. In our past life, he pursued me because of the project I led, not because of love. This time, he simply played along with Nina's claims, curious about the benefits she might bring. At home, my mother doted on Nina. She hated pretty girls, perhaps because of my father's infidelity long ago. Her bitterness toward women like his first love made her despise me all the more. But none of that mattered. Nina still couldn't understand that no man could save her. The day Nina had been waiting for finally came. She sat by the window all morning, expecting Professor West to appear, but he never came. By sunset, she broke down. She stormed into the hallway and shouted at me, "Claire, what did you do? Why didn't the professor come?" I blinked at her, feigning confusion. "What professor? I don't know what you're talking about." Her anger drew stares from classmates. They gathered around me instead, whispering words of comfort. "Don't mind her, Claire. She's losing it. Your sister must be under too much pressure." Nina's face twisted with frustration. She still didn't realize. Her desperation only made me look more sympathetic. The college entrance exam finally arrived. On that morning, Hannah arranged for people to block Nina's car on the way to the exam center. She never made it inside. Missing the exam was a fatal blow. The scholar system required milestones, and failing this one meant failure overall. I, meanwhile, walked calmly out of the exam hall, smiling at the reporters waiting at the gates. "Claire Lynn, do you have anything to say?" I looked into the camera. "Hard work will never betray you." At home, Nina wept bitterly. My parents tried to comfort her. "You can always retake the exam." But both Nina and I knew it was over. She had lost the system's support forever. Desperate, my parents turned to me. "Claire, you should give your college admission to your sister. You can always take the exam again next year." I laughed out loud. "Do you think the admissions office is blind? Even if we look alike, no one would mistake us now." I pulled out my phone and took a photo of us together. One face beautiful, the other merely plain. "Do you really think anyone would believe we're the same?" Nina gasped. "It was you. You arranged the fight on the road. You made me miss the exam." I only smiled. "Guess." My father's face twisted in rage as he raised his hand to strike me, but I had already stepped back, slipping out the door before he could touch me. Outside, I slapped myself lightly, leaving a red mark on my cheek. Then I recorded a video, my tearful face filling the screen. It was time to tell the world my story. Chapter 4. Nina retaliated by buying trending hashtags online. Soon, hashtags about me were trending. Claire Lynn the schemer, tragic sister Nina. She cried on camera, claiming I had ruined her life. My parents played along, wailing about their ungrateful daughter. But I had been preparing for this moment all along. I posted my own video. For a long time, I never spoke about my family. Not because of privacy, but because it's not a happy one. The video showed clips of my mother insulting me, my father's favoritism, and finally, the slap mark on my face. Viewers flooded the comments with outrage and sympathy. Many shared their own painful family stories. The tide turned. Instead of condemning me, people turned their anger on my parents and sister. Nina lost the scholar system. And I, my beauty system, whispered a reminder. Without true love, you will fail too. I smiled. Who says love must come from a man? With Hannah's help, I invested in several projects destined to succeed. Professor West's research advanced quickly, backed by her resources. Ethan Fu began courting Hannah, just as he had once courted me. Men like him never loved anyone, they only chased benefits. Meanwhile, Nina struggled. Without her system, she couldn't keep up. She repeated exams, failed again, and ended up at a second-rate local college. I saw her once, years later. She quarreled with our mother outside the apartment. "You're lazy and useless," my mother shouted. "You owe me everything," Nina screamed back. They were the same, always blaming others, never themselves. I, on the other hand, built a foundation to help underprivileged girls. Every year, I funded their education and gave them opportunities to work in Hannah's company. Many of them flourished, sending me letters of gratitude. The love they gave me was real, sincere, and more lasting than any fleeting romance. Finally, the beauty system spoke to me one last time. "You are the most unique host I've ever met. Even without me, you would still shine." And then it disappeared. I looked out over the world I had built for myself. Perhaps this wasn't just revenge or reversal, it was freedom. After the foundation gained recognition, my name often appeared in the news. Not as a scandalous internet celebrity, but as a philanthropist and successful investor. Reporters asked me once, "Claire, why do you focus so much on supporting girls in rural areas?" I smiled. Because I know what it feels like to be ignored and unloved. If If I can give someone else a chance to change their fate, then everything is worth it. The audience applauded. For them, I was no longer just a beautiful face. I was someone with strength, vision, and compassion. Mina, meanwhile, drifted further into despair. Without her system, her grades collapsed. She struggled to find a job after graduation. Sometimes she stayed at home, sometimes she tried to end her life, but she never succeeded. Neighbors whispered about her. Friends avoided her. Our parents, once so proud of her, now turned their hopes back to me. They tried to reconnect, but I kept my distance. The truth was simple. I no longer needed them. Hannah grew stronger in her family business. She dismantled her father's corrupt dealings, took full control of the company, and transformed it into something new. She asked me once, "Claire, do you ever regret the path you chose? What if you had kept the scholar system?" I shook my head. No, systems are only tools. In the end, success comes from how you use them. She raised her glass, smiling. To freedom, I echoed. Years later, I visited the mountains where my foundation supported schools. The girls greeted me with bright eyes and shy smiles. They showed me their grades, their dreams, their determination. One of them hugged me tightly. "Miss Claire, thank you. Because of you, I know I'm not worthless. I can study, I can have a future." Tears welled in my eyes. This was the love my system had asked for. Not the shallow affection of men, but the genuine gratitude of children who found hope. The beauty system appeared one last time, its voice soft and warm. "You are free now. Task completed." And then it vanished forever. I stood under the open sky, wind in my hair, heart light. Mina had wasted both her lives chasing what others could give her: love, approval, status. She never realized that fate demands effort, not excuses. As for me, I had rewritten my destiny. Perhaps this was never about beauty or intelligence. It was about choice. And I chose to live as myself.